Hello and welcome to Friendzy Friday with two Scrapbook friends. I'm Krista Utley and today I'm going to be talking about two great products when we make this card. The first is the glitter Ritz, which is the super microfine glitter, and the other is the liquid applique. Both are wonderful tools, especially at this time of year when we're thinking about making our Christmas cards. I have made, if you'll see here, this Hope Your Yule is Cool Christmas card. It's pretty basic, but I have used both the glitter here and the applique here on the card. This Christmas card, I'll just place it here for a second, uses the Jelly Bean Christmas Eve Chowder line. I have a sheet of the Christmas trees. On the reverse is the red stripe. I have a piece of the little penguins. On the reverse is the red star. I also have a piece of the salt and pepper, which is the snowflake version, so you'll need some of those. I have pre-printed on my computer on a piece of acid-free cardstock the sentiment, and I am also using some scrapbook adhesives, scrapbook paper, adhesive paper for the bottom of the card. I'm also using my Beacons 3-in-1, which you've heard me talk about before as being the best glue in the universe. I'm also using some pop-up squares, small versions just because I'm going to be using them on the tree, as well as some ink and my distressing tool. Some regular adhesive. You'll need a tray for your glitter. If you don't have one of those, a coffee filter works just as well. This is microfine glitter, and my husband always likes to tell me he can tell when I've been down in my office creating, because it gets everywhere, but it's certainly worth the process. You'll also need a heat embossing tool, and be careful, these are really quite hot. And finally, you will need some twine. I chose this sort of aqua color to go with the salt and pepper paper, and a button. I chose red, and some little tiny googly eyes for your little penguin friends. Alright, so first off, what I would suggest that you do is I've done some of my pre-cutting so as not to torture you with my meticulous fiddly fussy cutting. I've also taken the opportunity to cut a piece of the adhesive sticky paper and adhere it to the bottom of my 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch sheet. I chose long way, as you can tell here, just because I like the way it sort of stands up. The image sort of lends itself to a vertical vision. So then what I did was I placed in my tray the sticky part up, and opened my glitter very carefully, and just sprinkling it on here. I'm just covering my surface as best I can. What I try to do in advance of doing this glitter portion is, when I'm determining what I'd like to, how large I want this glittery piece to be in advance. Sometimes it's hard to determine that when you're, so what I sometimes do is I pre-cut the top part to overlay on the rough edge here in advance to try to gauge how it is I'm going to be using that. And then what I like to do here is I like to just take my finger and I like to burnish by rubbing my finger firmly on the flat surface, the glitter, so that it takes off any excess glitter. This is where my husband comes in. And shaking the rest off into the tray, and I put that aside to return back to my glitter jar at a later date. And by then, your glitter is sort of firmly adhered. What I then like to do is take my ink tool and just go around the outside of the card. I'm not going to go along this edge here with my inking tool, just because I don't want to I don't want brown snow. Nothing good comes of that. So then I take my glue. Actually, I like the Beacons 3-in-1 for this, and I just run a generous edge here around the outside of the card so that we are getting, and sometimes, you know, if need be, you run a little bit of tape runner in the center there. And then line it up so that the card, top part of the card is there. And you can sort of see how I have a snowy edge here. It sort of gives it a ski hill kind of feel. And then I take my liquid applique. Both the glitter and the applique are at 2 Scrapbook Friends. If you have any questions, someone there can direct you. I have a tube like this, and it has lasted me through several winters, provided that you know, if you decide you're going to go on a snowy penguin Christmas card kick, it might not last you too long. But it is something that I do not only for snowy mountain edges, but you know, for fur on hats or on little fluffy dog, you know, stamps if you're interested in that. And I just quite firmly run an edge along the card. It doesn't have to be neat because you're going to be using your heat tool to heat that up. And it's magical. Once you sort of see the effect of that, now you'll have to forgive the noise. You're going to be hearing that as I do this with you. If you run the heat tool along the edge, be careful that you don't hold it in one place too long, or it will scorch the applique and your card. So I just like to keep it moving just like you would your hairdryer. And now you begin to see how that's sort of puffing up there. I want to make sure that I get all of the applique, so I'm going to keep at this for just a second longer. It actually makes me think sort of a marshmallow that you cook over the fire. That sort of responds like that. Now this will be sensitive to pressure. If you place something firmly on it, it will flatten out your marshmallow, so to speak. So what I'm going to do here is, because I've pre-cut my little friends here, I just give them a quick ink here, and my little penguin friends. And while I'm waiting for that to dry, I usually just take this opportunity and I freehand my little cloud thing here. Feel free, if you're more precise, to use your Cricut or your silhouette or a punch if you have one. You know, don't be limited to your cutting as I am. I think it sort of adds a personal touch to it. And after I've inked that, what I'll do here is I will run a strip of adhesive just across the back of my cloud, across the back of the cloud. And what I do is, because I have wrapped this around the cloud here, independently of the piece that's wrapped around the card, I like that this adhesive sort of holds my twine on while I'm getting it tied. It really is hard enough to, you know, fiddle with it when it's all loose, so I like to do that. And then I'm cutting away any excess, and we have the little card, I hope you have a cool Yule, or I hope your Yule is cool. And then I can take, just being careful when I am I'm putting this on here that I'm not going to mess with my applique. So I'm just going to leave that actually and tie it off screen so you're not waiting on me. And I'm going to, just being gentle here, I'm just going to stick my little furry friends here gently into the snow. If you press them down just gently, their feet will kind of embed in the snow. And if that happens, that if you feel that there's not enough snow on their little feet, you can run another gentle bead of applique over top. Don't use your heat on for too long, or you will run into that problem we talked about, where you'll get some scorch marks. In fact, on this card that I've done for you, here I have I've got a little scorch mark. So you certainly just be careful of that. So I've used those pop dots to pop up my tree over top of the snow, and then I'm going to actually run a little bead along the bottom here. Again, you can see it, and you'll see that it's sort of puffed up there again. And then I'm going to, using my Beacons 2-in-1, I'm going to stick my little button on the top of my tree. This line of paper actually has stars on the top of these trees, but they're really hard to cut out, so I just opted to cover them up. And then once you have got that all ready, I will just adhere my little googly eyes on, and we have some really cute little penguins wishing you a very cool Yule. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please feel free to give the store a call or message me on the forum. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. I will be posting this in our Friendzy Friday area with a few pictures and a list of supplies so that you can recreate this card if you so desire. I hope you have enjoyed your time with me. I always enjoy doing these for you. So have a great day. Thanks so much.